Breaking the Castle is an incredible one-man play written and performed by renowned Aussie actor Peter Cook, and it's at the Hot House Theatre from next Tuesday through to Saturday. And we recently had a chat to Peter, who joined us in studio and told us a little about the play.
This is my first professional work as a playwright. I've written a number of plays for young people and youth theatre groups and things like that, but this is my first crack at professional playwriting, and I thought I would write a one-man show.
The hardest of all shows.
Yeah.
To write it would be hard enough, to come up with all of that whole story with only one person. But then to perform it, that's a big ask.
Yeah, look, the performance is really taxing. There's no doubt about it. It's 90 minutes of me on stage, and I can't miss a beat because I can't let it lag at all, because the audience have paid good money to come and watch me. So the energy's got to be up, and I've got to be on point. And it's a bit of a theatrical marathon, but at the same time, I just love performing this show. I love doing it.
And can you talk us through a little of what people can expect out of the play?
Yeah, sure. Look, I mean, I don't shy away from the fact that the play is based on my life experience. I've had really severe problems with depression and anxiety and addiction, and so the play touches on how those things are interconnected, and it touches on how I got myself into a really bad spot, but more importantly, how I got out of it. And the play focuses on the recovery process and the rehabilitation process. And what that exposes is the need for us as men and women and human beings in general, for us to heal from these situations is to become vulnerable, and to acknowledge that being vulnerable and to talk openly, in fact, is a strength and not a weakness. And, the fact that the play's been programmed during Men's Mental Health Week really highlights that men in this country commit suicide at alarming rates, and it's so sad because so many of those situations could possibly be preventable if we had more of a culture where it was okay for men to open up, to be vulnerable, to connect with their emotions and to talk. And I mean, that's what saved me. I was very lucky. I got into a rehabilitation centre overseas, but it was through opening up during that intensive counselling process that I was able to start my healing journey, which I'm only a couple of years into. So the play touches on that, but it's also about being an out-of-work actor, which is a lot of what my life has been, and it sort of, I guess, it shows that part of the industry. And it's very, very funny in places because it's so serious in some places. In other places, we have to find that humour.
Yeah,
of course.
And even when it's really dark, it's like, where's the humour here? Because, by an audience acknowledging the truth of something, they're able to laugh at it. And it's really important we found that humour. It's uplifting, and I know that the subject matter, we've been talking about sounds very serious, but ultimately it's about how we can all get through our own traumas, our own adversities, and come out the other side of it and survive. Because as human beings, we've all got trauma, we've all got something in our life, obstacles we've had to overcome. And so when people come and see my show, they're going to see themselves reflected on stage and be able to go, I've been in that situation.
Yeah.
Or that was my mother, brother, sister, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And it's interesting that you say that, it's important to be vulnerable. And I guess as a woman, for us, I suppose, amongst other women especially, it's very easy for us to have those conversations, much easier, I think. But do you think it's getting easier for men? Because there's so much talk about it now, and it's become so much more normalised than it was, that men, do have mental health problems and do have emotional issues that they need to talk through.
I think the younger generation, for sure. Like you see on YouTube now, there's those young school captains coming out and talking about, the importance of talking about mental health problems. Also talking about, how young men need to change their attitudes towards women. I think in my demographics, I'm 43, so men over 40, I think it's still a bit of a struggle. And I can say that from experience. I mean, I've got mates going through various hard times at the moment, and I'm always the one to lead that conversation. How you going? Do you want to talk? No, I'm fine, mate. And they're not. They're struggling.
Yeah,
they're drinking or whatever, or they've just been through a trauma, a divorce, a death. And it's still very hard to open up, I think, as a male, because we are taught and have been taught. And, I think, in this country, you need to be strong. Men don't cry, all these sorts of things. I agree with you. Those attitudes are slowly changing. And I hope for the younger generation they're changing more quickly. But I think for men, in my age bracket, we've really got to be brave and recognise that being vulnerable is actually brave. Opening up is brave.
So brave.
Because it takes courage to expose yourself and go, you know what, I'm really struggling with my mental health, and it takes courage to ask for help. But I can guarantee you that the moment that I accepted help, my life has just got better every day. And I'm so glad that I said yes to help. And that's the message I'm trying to spread.
Wise words from Peter Cook there. Breaking the Castle, his one-man play, runs at the Hot House Theatre from next Tuesday through to Saturday. Get your tickets at hothousetheatre.com.au.